Boys, boys, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Well, what have we got here? After about 3 weeks of swearing and cursing and wishing I was rather fishing in the North Sea or hitting stones in Siberia or something like that, I actually got this thing to run. Now, with it being the reference one, there's a lot of stuff not on it. So like, I didn't do dashboard lights and I didn't do coupler lights, and the sanding wasn't perfect like I do the production ones, and these frames are printed. They're not the photo etch brass ones, because it's staying with me, and yes, it being the first one. Look, I'm tremendously chuffed with the fact that I stuck to my guns back when we started, because now it came out exactly like I thought it would. There's a lot of detail on this body. Look how nice these came out. But the proportions, that's the main thing. It's perfect. I got the stance right. And because it's a bigger loco than the 35, I could put a bigger speaker box in it. I played a hell of a lot with the sound files and with the smoke files. Now, on the ones that went to Germany, we had, I was actually still make a video about that. There was lots of drama there, but anyway, we will talk about that later. The smoke stuff, the smoke files, they were good, but the whiteness in the smoke was a problem. I don't like that too much. So now I've got stuff here that looks like geheime goeters. You remember when we were kids, we used to chuck a lot of stuff together, and then we used to hide it because it was our stuff. Well, this is something like that. This is a concoction. Look, you won't believe it, dudes. I've got a BSc degree. Zoology and botany and physiology, but I did do chemistry for a year or so. So, flunked it, I think, for 2 years. But anyway, I got it in the end, so I know a little bit about this stuff. So I mixed myself a fluid because Germany reckons that the smoke fluid, the Zoyter stuff and the KM1 stuff is flammable, which it's not. So they can't fly it over to me. So it's a bit of a problem. And I went through the water-based ones, but I'll do a separate video about the smoke fluid. And then I'll tell you what you need to do. And yes. Anyway, back to business. So yes, I obviously did the interior. There's no funky glass on the gauges. There's actually no face in the gauges. I just chucked it together. All right, so, however, I've learned something. If you face the speaker to the back of the body, and you make sure that the face of the speaker is somewhere here, and the rest of it's all contained in a little box, which is what I made for this. I did the same on those ones over there. Remember how nicely that sounded? That's actually where I got the idea. And you seal off the back. I sealed it there. I sealed it here. It's closed. The only place where stuff can get out of that body is by the exhaust, where there is a smoker. You lose a hell of a lot of volume. Well, not a hell of a lot. You lose about, I would say, 15-20% in volume. However, what you do get is bass, and lots of it. And because the sound's contained in the body, you can chase the speaker without getting distortion. And the other thing that happens is, if you give it enough treble, what all the ESU new lock programmer software enables you to do. The sound file gets very detailed. I mean, on this thing, I can hear push rods and I can hear injector clank. I can hear a lot of stuff on this. I doubt the phone will convey every little sound, but you will get the idea when you hear the bass. It's actually brilliant. And, okay, let's start the thing, man. I'm talking a lot of crap. I haven't spoken to you Uggs in ages, so bear with me. All right, so let's start it. Look, the startup is still a bit of a very smoky. I actually want to pull the heat down in that bit. Look, my new oil hangs a bit. But what it does do is it takes the whiteness away. So you have a more see-through smoke if you turn the temperatures down when it runs. The stuff I've got in there only starts making smoke at about 120 degrees. So if you play with that 120 degrees and up, you can get it pretty nice. All right, so let's run it. But listen to the sound on this thing. See, the smoke's much lighter. Oh, yes, and I've played with dynamic sound too. That I'll show you now. That's brutal stuff. I don't understand it yet fully, but smoke is just on the limit where it starts. You see on the startup, it's still a bit hot. That's why it smokes so much. But yeah, you see, that's not in your face. It's not overly smoking. It's just actually bloody nice. I can't get it black. But okay, let me just go. Look at this loco over there. Against the wall, hear the bass. Look at the proportions of that thing. That is a 34. This was what I was after right from the start. The old one never gave me that feeling, you know, the 34 feeling. I've always been carrying on about that, but anyway, there it is. Now, I'm going to bring it back. Hear the bass. Now, back in the good old days, when I still did sound and stuff, when I was a young man, bass is unidirectional. The problem is with bass, it gets overwhelming. So on the 35s, I had a problem that the air horn was actually too soft for the rest of it. Check that smoke. That's pretty smoke, man. Just go out. What do you guys think? That's nice smoke. We nearly drove into the 35. Yeah, well, while I got it close, you can somehow see the difference in size between the two. So that's that there, 34, and now shortly the 35. Yes. Now, dynamic sound. This means that you can coast the loco, you can if there's an uphill on your layout, by the press of a button, it will respond to that. Now, I programmed mine slightly different to what they reckon, but let me show you it. Right, so now, imagine you have a whole consist behind you, all right? Okay, I'm not gonna go fast, much faster than that. But you're running, you can do it at any speed. And you want to coast. Look at this now. But the train keeps its speed. Now, you can program it to actually go slower. Apparently, I haven't tried. But this to me is the pinnacle of realism. This is like when they shut and then they close it. Pulling heavy, lots of smoke. And now what you can do is, you can hit the hammer like that. And then when you get to a point where you think that you should pick up speed, you bump the smoke, which I programmed in, and then she will go. You see the smoke is now more. And now you can run it. And if I'm at that speed, I can do it again. So now we can coast. Fantastic, isn't it? And then when you get out of it, it will stop. It is really, I haven't tried the uphill one where it actually slows down. I haven't programmed the slowing down into it yet. But I'm going to do it. I haven't got uphills here, but just for, it's a button that you press. So when you're at the club or wherever and you want to simulate that, you can. It's absolutely phenomenal. I say again, that ESU is so far ahead that it's not even funny. You know, not just with features, but with giving me an interface to play with those features. You know, that is where it's at. So if we go, now we can coast. Like say you're shunting, man, and now you want to, of course you can't come more. And then bump out of it and it will stop. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. What do you guys think of the sound? Now, all right, okay. Here's the other thing. Like I said, bass is unidirectional. It tends to sort of overshadow everything. You lose other sounds, especially when you've got the motor really loud. On the 35s, the air horn went for a ball of crap. You couldn't hear the air horn, but listen to this. Got the air horn nice and loud. I'm happy with that. Yes, dude, so that's basically that. What's going to happen now is I got to build one for Johnny in Australia. That will obviously be a production version with all the nice stuff. I started assembling the motor blocks today. I'm quite happy with the loco. Tell me what you think. Look, I've done detail on this one a little bit. There's the handbrake chains and stuff. Couple of things I need to change there. You know, like this. This should be inner because now the chain doesn't line up with the air cylinders. Little things like that you don't know when you build. That's why you always have to build a first one and keep it. Oh yes, another thing is I sanded. You'll see there's a funny mark there because I lost the shape of the roof a bit because I was sanding it so much. On this 35 here, you see how thick the roof is. Now I thought, hell man, I want the roof slightly thinner, so I sanded it down. Boom. And we're going to print it now a layer or two thinner on the production one so I can see what that looks like. And yes, but it's a pretty loco, eh? It's a very pretty loco. I've always liked the GE, the 34 GE. I'm never a fan of the 35, but they're starting to swing me these 34s. There's a chunkiness about them that the GM hasn't got. The GM is just a square monster. You know, this is more, you know, the GM is sexy. This is more feminine, but also, yeah, there's something about it. Yes, and the one I'm building for Johnny is going to be a 500, so it's going to have the aircon on the roof, and it's going to have a lot of extra stuff. Right, so let me know what you think, dudes. We speak later. Goed julle mannetjies. Let me switch it off. There we go. Lekker, né? Lekker. Yes, so because I'm so busy with these things, I haven't done anything else here. I'm still fit the wires, as you can see. But I did build myself a reference sugar wagon. And I've already got one delivered to a customer. And yes. No, things are going on. All right, dudes, we'll speak later. Goed mannetjies. Tot ziens.